Okay, here we go on physical and chemical changes in properties. What are properties? Properties are characteristics, attributes, things about something, facts about something. So a physical property and a chemical property are different, and here's how. A physical property is something that can be observed without changing into a new substance. So I just want to list one or two examples of a physical property. Something that you can observe without changing something into a new substance. So like color. You can tell what color something is without changing it into something else. So that's a physical property. Another one would be mass. How, put something on a scale and see what its mass is. You didn't change it into something else. I've got a little room here, so another one might be the shine or the luster of something. There's a big list. It goes on and on. Maybe hardness. Is it hard or soft? Different rocks have different hardnesses. Diamonds are really hard, and other rocks are soft, like talc. Okay, chemical properties. Chemical properties, you might be able to guess this. If physical properties can be observed without changing into a new substance, chemical properties are only observed by changing into a new substance. So, as an example, flammability. You don't know if something's going to burn or not unless you burn it. And when you burn something, you've changed it into something new. So flammability is a chemical property. How about, does it react with acid? Does it react with a base? So reactivity is another one. The other side of that coin, you can talk about stability. How stable is something? Does something oxidize easily? Those are chemical properties. Now let's jump over here to changes, physical and chemical changes. The idea is quite similar. So in a physical change, you get no new substance. You need to be kind of careful on this because there are some common examples that might be a little misleading. For example, if you have like a cold pop and you take it out of the fridge, you might notice it gets all these little droplets all over it. And you think, oh, that's a new substance. Look, there's water in there and it wasn't there before. Well, the temperature changed. The coolness of the pop caused the water vapor that was in the air to condense onto the pop bottle. So you didn't really get any new water. It's just water that was in the air. Likewise, boiling water. You boil water and it disappears. Does that mean that it was destroyed? No, it just became water vapor that went into the air, maybe eventually to settle on a pop bottle somewhere. So in a physical change, you get no new substance. And then the last one, you can probably guess, in a chemical change, you do get a new substance. Maybe new substances. So an example of a chemical change where you get a new substance. Maybe you mix chemical A and chemical B, and then it forms this powdery stuff that settles to the bottom. That's called a precipitate. So there's a new substance. Another example where you get a new substance is a sparkler. You had this metal stick and you lit it and you got smoke and ashes and you got a whole bunch of light. So how do you spot these changes, physical and chemical changes? Well, the best way to do make that decision is to look for new substances. If you get no new substances, then it's physical. If you get a new substance, then it's chemical. There are other ones you can look for. Some are easier to tell than others. Like right here in this boiling water example, you see bubbles. Well, there are also chemical changes where you can have bubbles. If you mix, chemical A and chemical B, they bubble. So, bubbles could be a sign of either. One easy way to look for a chemical change is to look for light being given off. When you buy a light stick, before it works, you have to bend it and break it. There's a little tiny vial inside of another chemical, and when the two mix, then it gives off light. That's a chemical change. How about a color change? A color change is a sign of a chemical change. The new substance here is the red apple skin. Not very easy to go back to the green. It's a new substance. Here's another example of a color change. If you throw some copper metal into some acid, you get this blue stuff. That blue stuff is a new chemical, so that's a new substance. That's a chemical change. There are an odor change. If you let milk go bad, you get a new odor. So an odor change is a sign of a chemical change. What about a temperature change? Well, that can be a sign of either, so that's not one that I like to use. But how about this? Breaking glass. What kind of change is that? You can't take these little bits of glass and put them back together, so is that a chemical change? No, because the little pieces are still made of glass. This is a quick intro to chemical and physical changes and properties.